Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Brendan and welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new here, it is great to have you. And today I want to take some time and explain why Bitcoin is surprisingly bullish. Now I know what you guys are thinking. You guys see this giant rising wedge on my chart over here and are asking yourselves, how could this possibly be a bullish case scenario for Bitcoin? Now that's exactly what I want to talk about, because while we have had this move to the downside, I think that most of the bearish price action is over, and in fact we are getting ready to see in the least new resistance and in the most new yearly highs for Bitcoin. Now, I want to take some time and really explain why I think this is possible and in fact probable. So if you guys are interested, make sure you guys stick around for the entire length of the video, as there will be important information discussed the entire way through. But with that being said, let's go ahead and dive on into this. So with Bitcoin starting out with this rising wedge over here and us falling through both the 50 EMA and the bottom of this support line over here, it was looking pretty dreary for Bitcoin because it was in a rising wedge of sorts. And while it came back up here and rejected former support, now turned resistance, this was a pretty bad sign. But I think that the telling factor over here, and that a lot of things that people missed, is that Bitcoin actually held above the 200 EMA, and none of the candle body closings really got the close below this area. And in fact, we had two wicks, and these wicks are showing a lot of buying pressure over here on Bitcoin, and that's been a really reoccurring theme that we have seen throughout this run-up, is that there have been a numerous amount of wicks to show how much buyers there are when Bitcoin has been dipping. So that, really the fact is that we held this 200 EMA, we had the wick showing the buying pressure, and ultimately this was a higher swing low. And so if we want to adjust the support of this rising wedge into now more of a parallel channel, I think that this looks a whole lot better on our chart, and we can get a new perspective as to where we think Bitcoin is now and where we can chart it going into the future. So what I think is most important about this is not only does this look like not one but two and even three touches on support, this also shows Bitcoin holding the 200 EMA, testing the 50, breaking back above it, and now using it as support, as we can see over here. So I want to zoom in just a little bit to kind of get an idea of what this looks like. So this is a really good sign for me, in my opinion, on Bitcoin. Again, the bounces off support, strong buying pressure right here, the initial rejection from the 50, a retest of the 50, and then the break, and then the hook. Now, what I think we could be looking at here is a potential to do some sort of a break, hook, and go, where we initially break above the 50, hook it, and then go. So what this could very well lead to is, if this is a true and tried parallel channel, then what we're able to do over here is actually take this parallel channel tool and kind of line this up with the lines that we have over in here. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. And if we do that, we get a very, very similar chart to the two support and resistance lines that we already had mapped out over here. Now, this is important because what we can see with a parallel channel tool that we can't see with just our white lines is the heart line of this channel. Now, the heart line of the channel plays a significant part of anything and everything, because what this does is this shows us the either support or resistance based on where the price action is at. So we can see that when Bitcoin tested this area, it was resistance, and then very clearly support, and then support again, and then we use this area as resistance. So what I believe that we're going to do over here is that we're going to come back up to the least, retest this heart line around $12,000, and this is going to be one of those spots where we either break it or we don't. You typically see a pretty big either rejection or breakthrough at this point, but that's going to be our next major area of resistance on Bitcoin. Now, if Bitcoin can break this, I don't see any reason why it can't go up to nearly $13,000. Of course, this would take some time, and maybe we do something like this, but ideally this would put us at this $13,000 area, which would be, a new yearly high for Bitcoin. So I think mapping this out is showing that this is not a crazy idea, that this is actually very, very possible, and that while Bitcoin is starting to squeeze and see some volume falling off, I think that what that volume squeeze could mean is that Bitcoin is getting ready to have another move to the upside. Now, whether that's going to guarantee to happen or not, no one knows. I mean, at the end of the day, there are no absolutes in trading of anything, but I think that there are a whole lot more signs here that this is more bullish than it is indeed bearish. Now, again, the trend is your friend. The trend on Bitcoin this year has been beautifully to the upside, as we can very clearly see from this rising channel. So at the most, or really at the least, I'm shooting for around a $12,000 resistance on Bitcoin. After that, I think there is an absolute good chance that we hit 13,000. After that, if we want to look at the heartline of the bigger channel, we're shooting for 14,000, and after that, it's going to be putting us around 17,000. So those are my price projections of resistance to the upside. If we want to look towards the downside in case this does break down, of course, we are going to be having support at around 11,580. Then we're going to have more support anywhere between 11,400 and 11,300. Really, anywhere kind of in this area over here is going to be the golden pocket area of Bitcoin. If it breaks through this, I think we're going to fall pretty straightforwards to around 10,500, where there will be very, very strong support for Bitcoin. So that is going to go ahead and round us up over here. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. I hope this was able to catch you guys up on a lot of the stuff that I have missed out on over the past couple of days. But, you know, nonetheless, I found it pretty insightful, and just kind of getting to go through this with a friend of mine in the Discord, RS Chris, and kind of just map this out with him yesterday. So shout out to him. He's a great guy. And if you guys want to join the Discord, there is a link to that in the description down below. It's totally free, no strings attached. And I'll flash a picture of that at the end of the video. So once again, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video.